Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks so much for letting me take a little bit of a break, but we're back after 2.5 weeks, and we're going to be talking about 5 common Russian tortoise mistakes, or things people don't really think about when having a Russian tortoise that you should be doing that I see people not doing. But before that, I want to let you guys know and remind you, if you've already seen it, we're having a big live stream coming up this Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, roughly. We're going to be having a lot of fun on there. You guys can donate. All that money's going to charity. Every time you donate more than $1, Olivia's shaving part of my head. It's going to be really fun. We're going to have games, possible special guests. I really hope you show up. I said show out and then outtake earlier, so I almost said it again. But anyway, let's get Tortellini. He's right next to me. We're going to give him a bath while we talk about these 5. Okay, number 5, guys, we're talking about overbathing. Pretty on topic with what I'm doing right now. Now, I see a lot of people who recommend bathing a Russian tortoise pretty much every other day. And personally, and I'm going to say this is personal, I do think that there's not too much factual basis behind this idea of mine. I don't think they need to be bathed every other day, even every week. I think they can go quite a decent amount of time. And I go even more than every week or every other week because I have a bowl in there, Olivia, if you want to show it real quick, that he can actually, Tortellini can actually go in, drink water, and sit in, which I think helps a lot with bathing and not having to do a formal bath like I'm doing here, and takes care of some of those factors. Now, bathing is important, but you do have to remember this is a desert species. They do not come across water all that often in their natural habitat, and they're pretty opportunistic with these type of things. So they really don't, in my mind, require that frequent of a bath that a lot of people will recommend for tortoises. Like I said, though, baths are important. Shell growth and health is really important to any tortoise, so you do need to do the occasional bath and stuff like that, but it's kind of overhyped in my mind. I really don't think you need to be doing it every other day, like I said, nor every week. If you do it about twice a month, I think that's fine. You might even have to do it a little bit less. So that's my number 5 there of common mistakes. Like I said, though, this is not really a big mistake. This is more kind of just my number 1 kind of opinion based off of this, using anecdotal evidence and just, working with Tortellini here. And I don't think it's super detrimental to be doing it every week or something. I do think there's possible bad effects if you do it like every day or almost every other day, but I definitely don't know enough to really be certain. So it's not like there's going to be harm if you do this more often than I'm recommending. So that's why it's number 5 on this list and not up to the number 1 spot. Number 4, I want to talk about not enough substrate depth. Now, these guys love to burrow, and they will definitely do that when they are sleeping or brumating, and you will probably see them disappear quite a few times. I remember me and Olivia looked in Tortellini's closure a couple times throughout having them so far, and not being able to find them, and then you just being able to see the very tip of his shell popping out or something like that. So they do love to get almost completely submerged in their substrate. Now, substrate depth, luckily, you might be overthinking it, thinking, oh man, I'm going to need like a foot. Is that what you're going to say? No, if you have about like 5-6 inches, that should completely submerge them. If you want to give a little bit more, then by all means go ahead, but you definitely don't need a ton of depth, just enough for them to be almost fully submerged. I think we also do have a pooper right now, so Olivia, let's focus up on my pretty face up here instead of a little poopy boy down here. So basically, you don't need a lot of substrate depth, but you need more than just a few inches. I recommend probably half a foot to 10 inches is probably good enough. And you can do different levels vertically. So part of kind of that theory, and this adds to some enrichment, both physical and mental, I have different I don't know what you want to call these, Olivia.
Slabs,
blocks, whatever you want to call it. I have different ones of these throughout, and not only do they act as a good place for him to eat off of, but it's different terrain, different vertical spacing. If you can make hills, pile it up with the substrate. They like that stuff for enrichment, but you can also add different layers of substrate depth. You can have some that's about 4 inches. You can have some that's 12 inches in this hide. I really push it back. You can't see it from over there, maybe. I don't know, maybe you can't see a little bit of it. But it's sloped. It goes back. It pushes up against the back of his hide so he can burrow into it. And in there, that's probably closer to 10 to 12 inches. So you do want to give a place, especially where they reside, that they can completely submerge themselves under the substrate and burrow, and don't be worried if they go missing. He's in there somewhere, you can find him, but they love to do that. Nothing like a snack after your bath. If you agree with that, guys, make sure to subscribe in the lower right hand corner. Hit that bell as well for the latest updates on the channel. I appreciate it. Number 3. Okay. Number 3. Beak trimming. This can include nails as well, but it's mostly focused on the beak since this is more related to their health and them being able to eat and everything. There can be health problems with a not properly trimmed beak. And yes, they do have a beak and it can extend.
Yeah, that's true.
And it can extend farther than what they should have. So you do need to go ahead and have that trimmed. Now, you can do it yourself, although that's a little advanced and probably something you don't want to do necessarily. So there are ways to have them naturally do that. And ways you can do that, as I was pointing earlier, they can eat off of slates like this. I really put his food on there. Now, he does tend to throw it all over the enclosure. But I do put his food on this slate. This can act as a natural beak trimmer. And we also have this cuttlefish bone, which has seen better days. He does not use this too much though, but you do want to offer this. This can definitely help with beak trimming. And these slates, like I was saying, not only with beak trimming, but with nail trimming too, these are helpful. So these are definitely something you want in the enclosure. Specifically, probably the slate for them to eat off of. I think that alone should deal with the beak trimming. Cuttlefish is good too, but not all of them will use it. I do need to get another cuttlefish bone because this one seen better days.
It looks like a surfboard.
Number 2, a transparent wall on their level. And basically what this refers to is sliding glass doors if you have them in an enclosure like that. Now, it could really be anything that's glass. I mean, you don't want to put them in a glass terrarium or something, so that counts too. But more often than not, when we're saying a transparent wall, we're referring to something like this. Now, sometimes people get on my back about this, and this is not really a problem because I have the substrate about, what, I think maybe 5 inches down from here. Basically, Tortellini, when he's moving around, looking around on his level, he sees the wood. He cannot see on the glass or through the glass. He's not on that level. So this works fine. I never had any problems with him glass serving, pushing out, stuff like that. So this works, and this is a good way if you want to have a sliding glass door enclosure. I know probably tortoise tables and stuff are more prominent for indoor enclosures for these type of guys, so you might typically not see it set up like this. But if you want to have this type of setup, that's how you do it. You put the substrate low enough from where the glass starts so they can't see out of it. Now, sometimes they can reach up and try to push out of it. I've seen Tortellini try it a couple times, but it's not pretty typical of him. You do have to be aware of that, though, because if you have something that's not really firm, not really solidified in there, they might be able to push out of the enclosure. And then you have a Tortellini running around, and specifically if it's something like this in the air, you might have a Tortellini on his back. So do be wary of that. That's why it's our number 2, because it can be potentially hazardous if you don't do it right, and a lot of tortoise enclosures indoors are DIY. So I just think that that could be a really easy mistake that someone could do, and that's why I put it at number 2. But doing something like this, I just want to clarify for anybody who's, is thinking that this could be potentially bad. It's not. He doesn't see above it, and I never have any problems with him glass serving really pushing against it, stuff like that. But that is our number 2. Make sure that there is no glass that they can just see right through during their ordinary activities. That's not going to bode well for them, and you know, most reptiles don't like looking through a reflection or transparent glass. And finally, number 1, I feel like this is the only typical bad common mistake that you would get for tortoises, and that's too many fruits. I mean, so many times have you gone through Facebook on a non-reptile page and seen a cute little tortoise eating a strawberry. Very cute. They love it. They love sugars. They're addicted to sugars. You even give them something sugary, and that's all they'll want to eat for a while. So it could be potentially very dangerous to even offer at once. And really, fruits are not a really big part of their diet. Now, I mean, I'm not going to say they never eat a fruit in the wild. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. That's why I'm kind of just saying that. But in captivity, I wouldn't offer them any fruits. The most sugary type of thing I feel like I offer Tortellini is maybe some butternut squash from time to time. And butternut squash is fine for them to eat occasionally and can be a good treat. So don't offer them fruits. That's really bad for their health. You will have a lot of health problems in your tortoise if you offer them fruits somewhat regularly. I don't think you should even give it to them at all. Because like I said, even one, you might have a tortoise who would refuse to eat for a couple weeks because they just want something that sugary. They get so addicted. I even have Tortellini who, you know, he's a big endive fan, as some of you guys know. You know, in the beginning, when he started having endives, all he wanted was endives, and that's not even that sugary. So I would stay away from your fruits. That's probably the number 1 most dangerous thing in terms of health to tortoises, and in this case, a Russian tortoise. So just don't go down that road. Don't mess with it. Talk to a vet if you really want to offer it occasionally, an exotic vet who knows about tortoises, and see what they recommend. Personally, I just don't want to give it to them. Too many negatives. Olivia, what's your favorite part of tortoises?
Oh my god, I'm not telling them.
What's your favorite part of tortoises? We're talking about cute little tortoises eating strawberries. What do you like about tortoises?
I like the funny video of like the tortoise trying to mate with the shoe. And they go, eh.
So those are my 5 common mistakes I see in Russian tortoise care and keeping, and these can probably even be applied to other tortoises out there. Let me know if you think I didn't mention something very important. Obviously, there are many more issues out there related to Russian tortoise care, and I would love to hear them from you, so go in the comments below and let me know. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe. I'd appreciate it, and let's get to a couple announcements. Shout out to the patrons. I want to thank Stephanie S., Darian J., Herp M., David T., Angela L., Smooth Cat. I think that's everyone. It's been a while, guys. I'm sorry. I really appreciate your support. You guys too can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. Check the top left or top right for more information. Tier 3, get you on my forehead. Definitely check out Reptile links. You can get $5 off your first order of Reptile links by using the code ProfessorHerp at checkout. There's also a link below that automatically applies that code to whatever you're buying, so go check them out. Great stuff for your Tegu, your blue-tongued skink, hognose snake, a bunch of different reptiles, and they're coming out with many, many more cool products. So check that out, again, in the description below. Rock the Professor Herp merch. We have 4 different designs. That's to the left of my head, right of your screen. Just wearing my logo right now, but we got some cool stuff to the left of my head. Like I said, we got Tegu, we got Ackie Monitor, we got Bearded Dragon, and many more to come. We're really going to try to add some more merch soon when Olivia feels like doing so, but check that out. Teespring link in the description. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.